It's the Sandman1 MT, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing my pulls for S1 Zani, as well as their weapon, and how that went, along with all the changes they made to the user interface and some of the rewards that will be given out for the anniversary event. So if this is your first time here, hit that like and subscribe, and we're going to get right down to it. As you can tell, I'm currently in immersion mode to go ahead and showcase the game and my characters and everything else, which is a lot of fun to go ahead and play like this as well. And I can go ahead and quickly go ahead and toggle the UI back on, but they've recently added the feature to actually toggle it back off. I've asked for this feature in my videos as well as every survey that's come out. It is so nice to have devs that listen, and I just want to give a shout out. Thank you, devs of Wuwa, for listening, unlike some other games out there. Genshin. Sorry, I had a little bitterness stuck in my throat. However, let's go ahead and get down to our pulls and stuff for our Zani and how this goes for me. I am 52 on my pity, and I am on my 50-50, so there is no guarantee here. Now, Zani, I'm pulling for her because I like her storyline and her character design, and I like what she's able to go and provide. And we've already turned gold, so we're about 63 pulls on my banner, give or take. And hopefully I go ahead and win my 50-50 on this, so I can possibly even go for an S2 Zani. However, we'll see how this goes and goes. Get these swords and everything else out of the way. And oh, come on. Anybody but this character. Why does this guy haunt my dreams? It could have been anyone else but this guy. This just feels bad. So, well, I still got quite a few wishes left. I've been storing up and grinding and getting a lot of the events done. However, this did not feel very good at all. I am looking forward to the day that they actually add to the EU law that's going to go ahead and be like the weapon banner, where it's guaranteed and the currency is a little more upfront. Because, these losses like this just doesn't feel good. And it could have been any other character, but him. But he's an absolute waste. He's a reject from Genshin Impact and Razor, poorly done on this game. And he's just really not usable. I tried using him when I first got him. Took him up to level 40. He just feels bad to play. However, going back onto our polls for Zani, at least I know I'm in my guarantee now for S1, and I still should have enough for her weapon as well. Now, one of the things I'd like to go ahead and say has been real positive here in the game as well is the fact this Gilded Night Market that they've added in during their anniversary event. They give you weekly challenge supply packs, which equals almost 3 weeks of boss materials that go ahead and take you to grind up, which is really helpful to me for all the characters I'm building up, or any new player that's currently gotten into the game is able to go ahead and quickly go ahead and get their characters in so they can start playing this game as well. So they've been really generous with this. Oop, looks like we got a gold, folks. So like on my channel, when the characters come up, I shut the yap up for just a few minutes and let the characters speak and catch their cool lines that they have to go ahead and say. I'm looking forward to see what Zani has to go ahead and do for her special animations.
All right. What's the first thing on today's to-do list?
Yeah, what she can go ahead and help out first is let's go ahead and bump off Ling Yang so he never comes back on my banner or anyone else's. And she can go ahead and maybe come home a little sooner and stuff by waking up and being on time for my banner. That would be really appreciated, Zani. However, maybe I got a double out of it, possibly? I doubt it, but let's find out. I've been real good at my count. Nope, not this time around. I can't complain too much about how well I did on this one, because if you watch any of my other previous pulling banners, I've done really well on my account. And if you guys like to and everything else to help out my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you go ahead and watch some of my other videos and everything else that I've done and get my view times up on those other ones so I can get into a partnership with YouTube. Or you could also go ahead and check out my Patreon channel that I've recently launched, where I'm going to be doing some giveaways of Weather and Waves merchandise once I contain 10 Patreon subscribers or someone who contributes and everything else up to 10 times. I'll go ahead and have those giveaways on that channel. So go ahead and check that out at the end of this video as well. Now, the other thing that I'm really impressed by that Weather and Waves has done with their event is they've given us 10 premium wishes from that gilded market. And on top of that, they've also given us 15 echo modifiers, which allows us to go ahead and modify any of our echoes. So let's say you go ahead and get a level 3 one for your Zani, but it's got electro instead of the spectral attribute. You're able to go ahead and switch that over and everything else to go ahead and get what you need. And that's very helpful for everyone involved when we're doing our echo grinds. And the other cool thing that I've enjoyed that they've done during this event is actually the cube challenge of the Bowser Castle itself. This cube challenge allows us to go ahead and get the best of both worlds of the Tower and Whimpering Wastes. The challenge is quite difficult once you go ahead and get up there, but the one thing I like about it, unlike some of the previous ones, when they give you the echoes, they allow us to go ahead and modify it however we want. So that way we can make our characters as strong as they would have been in the other challenges that we do normally. And on top of that, like I'm missing Phoebe in my account, and these echoes with the little cubes allowed me to go ahead and apply that spectral frazzle, allowing me to utilize her more fully. And I love how there are only single floor challenges and everything else. And they come in waves of 3, but you have the same team that you can go and practice with. This is a home run, and I hope they make this a permanent feature from this game. And I'm hoping when they enter a survey in that my listeners and those out there actually go ahead and give a positive review and want to see this as a permanent event. I love the way it is. This is an absolute success. This is everything that games should be doing like this. And the fact that I can use all my characters and switch them out however I want and have the freedom to do that, it's really good. So you guys ought to check that out if you haven't done the Cube Challenge yet. So as you can tell, it's taken quite a while to go ahead and get Zani. Go ahead and get her S1. Looks like she's going to take most of my wishes. Go ahead and get her S1. Finally turned gold. So the other reason I went ahead and decided to go after this character and everything else for my account was the fact that oh, come on. You gotta be kidding me. Well, it looks like she's going to go ahead and take everything I have. I'm going to probably have to go ahead and pull off my coral to go ahead and make sure that I can go ahead and get my S1 of this character. However, let's see how these last few pulls go before I do that. Because I'd prefer to go ahead and save those for a copy of another character instead of just for wishes. But I'm trying not to spend any more money than I have to and everything else. Because, well, recently and everything else, I just lost my job in the last week and everything else. And on top of that, along with 2 other people, lost theirs as well. And I'm also on medical and everything else because I'm waiting on surgery on my neck because, well, I'm having trouble looking up. So like I said before and everything else, you guys can really help out and stuff by checking out my other videos at the end of this. Like my S1 Zani 99 Luff Balloons. It's a battle showcase and everything else, level 15 of the Bowser Castle, and it showcases her and the world and everything else in immersion mode and everything, set to some really cool Billboard hits and music. So I appreciate all the viewers and everything else, and just watching this is enough. Thank you for all your guys' support and help. And looks like I finally got my S1 Zani. So this is going to be really helpful in my account. I will pair her up with the Spectral Rover in the time being. I am skipping Phoebe entirely in favor of waiting for Chicona to come out that does both arrow and spectral damage. And I think she's going to be a better support. And the third person I'm also waiting for is Cartethia. And I'm going to run those 3 characters together. And at that point, I will have a total of 12 characters all built, which will allow me to run the tower comfortably and run my teams at 3 full teams on each of the floors without having to swap anyone out. So I will be uploading that for one of my challenges as well. And as you can tell over here, I did pick up her S1 primarily to get that extra spectral damage for not having Phoebe. as a placeholder, and I do like to have that interruption resistance for the character like her, especially since she's right in the face of all of her enemies. And that's going to be a really good, I think, stopping point for her. I might eventually go ahead and get her S2 as well, but I'm going to have to skip this time around because I kept on getting Ling Yang. Now I went ahead and got her S1 primarily for the interruption resistance, but the extra damage since I'm not getting Phoebe right away, and I'm going to be waiting for Chacona to go ahead and pull on her. And I'm also going to go ahead and use her as a character with Cartethio when she comes out, and that'll be my final team that I'll run the tower. So I can run, like I said earlier and everything else, full 3-member teams through all the tower. And for that, you need more than 9 characters. You actually need 12 if you're doing that, which I will be able to do once I have Cartethia and also Chacona. So hopefully my polls go a little bit better when I go on their banners. I would like to also go ahead and mention that if anyone's playing on the PlayStation 5, that the controller feedback is very helpful in the system. So those of you who are on the computer or mobile, if you do have a PlayStation 5, go ahead and check out Wuwa on the PlayStation. The feedback from the controllers helps to go ahead and fighting. You can go ahead and sometimes feel an enemy brushing up against you when you get a near miss. You can feel the patterns in flight. And when I'm using like Cantarella, she actually goes ahead and you can feel the heavy attacks, and you can feel the controller getting kind of weighty. And it helps me go ahead and fight, and it's great when I'm using immersion mode. I usually play like this most of the time. Only when I'm first learning the character and their rotations and kind of how they work, I'll have the screen up. But once I go ahead and get that down and out, I just like to enjoy the beauty of the game and the open world in these battles. So go ahead and check out my other videos and everything else I got. So if you want to go ahead and pull for who you want, like I have and everything else, go ahead and check out my Wuwa, the characters they told you to skip video. I did a level 19 floor clear with the Cube Derby challenge that they got going on right now. And I single cleared it by myself, blind, on my first one without checking it out previously. And I had Brant, Roshia, and Cantarella, and they cleared very well in that. So don't always go ahead and just pull for whoever they tell you to do. However, I'd say go ahead, and if you're not pulling for Chacona or you're not pulling for Zani, I think Brant would be a very good character to pull even over the Shorekeeper. He provides healing, shielding, and a dual DPS, and he enables other team members as well. And I'd say the other character for the rerun banner to be worth pulling on would be Carlotta. And my third choice would be actually Roshia. That's been kind of dogged on by a lot of other content creators, but she provides an excellent value. She gets Brant back up in the air when he gets knocked down, keeping him up for his damage, and she can work with Cantarella. You know, she's a worthwhile investment. So check out my other videos, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Here for steady all time again, curving to the speed, and the laughter's in the air. All the trouble seems so far away every time I'm near. Who's singing off key? Who's a flame tambourine? Who's dancing light, tripping over their own feet? I will come to you by a world of smile. Everything is in slow motion when I look into your eyes. I know Only you and me are real here. The rest are replicas based on the scan results. I followed Miss Shorekeeper's instructions and made 12 different cubes. They should all be here.